Welcome to Off the Cuff on the Bluff with your host, Dean Franklin. That's me. We've had a little bit of a change up tonight. Rebecca could not make it. She had something else that she had to do. And at the last minute, I got information from Mariah Bailey out of Sevierville that she just couldn't make it. So I'll have a little bit of her story in this segment of Off the Cuff on the Bluff. And so we have joining us tonight, Kristin New for Germantown and Justin Jones. Welcome to the show, guys and ladies.
Hi.
Yeah, that's Justin Johnson, not Justin Jones. I hope not.
I'm so sorry. You can slap me next time you see me.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely not Justin Jones, and he's not Justin Pearson. And
Don't adjust your screen. Yeah.
I love my job. Before we get into it, now I've got a
Hey,
lot
can I stop you real quick, Chris?
Sure.
Several people are saying there's no sound,
No
or
sound.
no video, no sound or video.
Huh. Let's see. No sound or
It's
video.
just kind of running through, and it says live, and then it just kind of starts over.
Huh.
It looks like. I don't know. Can I see that?
Let's see.
Let me check it on that.
That stuff happens when you're live.
No, it's live now.
It is now?
There's-
Okay. There's a delay.
Yeah, we're live now. There must have been a delay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Okay. Yay. That's all I need.
On mine, I'm not, though. But if you say it is. Nope. It still says no sound or video.
On what? Facebook
Rumble.
Live?
Rumble.
Oh, on Rumble.
Rumble.
Huh. Well, I don't know. I don't even know how to check that.
On Facebook, it's good on Facebook though.
When we tell
Okay.
people head over to Facebook.
Yeah, you're good on Facebook.
Working on Facebook.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna look at something real quick here.
Okay.
Nope, nothing I need to see right there. All right. Well, lovely.
Well, you're on Facebook. We'll just be on Facebook tonight.
Yep. I don't even know that I could go in here and change something up and turn something off and turn something on to see if it pops up on Rumble or not. I thought I had it set up that way. That's what I get for not checking that. Let's see.
I'm just going to send your Facebook link out.
Robert Matheson just said, I reposted the working version of Rumble. The link you sent didn't work.
Oh,
Didn't up. I think it was just the wrong link.
okay.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Yeah, I think most of the time, like I said, most people watch on Facebook anyway. And yeah, Robert said we hear it fine here in Facebook. And if you go to the live section on Rumble channel, okay.
Okay. We'll be all right.
He says it's there.
Yeah, you'll probably have more viewers on Facebook anyways.
And I can't chat back on Facebook. I mean, on Restream anyway, back to Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Well, Robert, I think, yeah, he said it's there now. So I think we're
Okay.
all good.
Well, so I'm watching the chat for you on Facebook. So if there's like any juicy comments, I'll let you know.
Well, I get all the Facebook. I get all the Facebook chat. I just can't respond to it on Restream.
Yeah.
I have to restream it. I mean, I have to.
I think, yeah,
like
I think
everything
I'm
afterwards.
on Facebook. Everybody's, I think right now it's just staying on Facebook. So
Yeah, it's the chat is alive right now.
yeah, everybody's like, what are we doing?
All right, before we get
Good. We're
before we get
committed to
into that-
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
No cussing.
Vicky Gandy says, "Hey y'all, yeah, nobody cuss. I call this section the biz. So here's what I found out today. I had a conversation with several people. I went out to the Trump rally at the corner of Poplar and Ridgeway, and there was probably 30 or 40 people out there, maybe. It's a pretty good little crowd. And then we had two counter protesters come out. Kristin Hicks says, "Can I cuss in the comments?" Yeah, you can cuss in the comments. There you go. I'll pop that up there for her. And then we had two counter protesters. One I didn't recognize until she said a few things to me about private parts and Senator Brent Taylor. And then I recognized who she was. She's Jessica M. And she's the one that comes on his post all the time and says all kinds of.
She harasses people.
She's a really nice person.
Yeah.
Is that Miss Smold? I don't know if I can say the last name. Okay.
Moldier, no, she moved to Portland, where she belongs.
Oh, well, go figure. She moved to Portland, huh? Wow.
She did.
But I went Facebook Live a couple of times today, and one of the times that when she turned around and said that to me, I said, "Y'all are y'all are the group of inclusion and love and everything else." And she started going off a little bit and started video recording me with her phone or whatever. Well, as soon as she popped it up, I said, "Dean Franklin, new Memphis local podcast, Off the Cuff on the Bluff, every Monday night at 7:00. See y'all there." And then I turned around and walked off. So the other thing that I heard, I had a conversation with Rachel Hodges-Wall this afternoon, and she told me that what it sounds to me like with the SEC, and that's the State Executive Committee. Thanks for reminding me about the earlier stuff there, Kristin.
Oh, no, yeah. Allison didn't move that was Rainbow Bright. Sorry. We're talking about moving to Portland. I have to correct the record. Allison did not move to Portland. Rainbow Bright moved to Portland. That's a whole nother story.
Rainbow Bright. All
yes,
right.
She was the child groomer at Houston Middle School.
So the State Executive Committee, SEC, apparently writes bylaws whenever they are updates or amends bylaws on the fly.
Correct.
And one of the things that Rachel told me that they've done today, or I guess over the weekend or whatever, one of the things at their meetings was that several counties, their SEC or their CEC chairman don't have term limits. Apparently we have term limits here in Shelby County because for the chairman, for the CEC chairman, but we don't anymore. They've changed that.
So I think what I've heard it was that it's backwards. So the SEC State Executive Committee chairmen or chairwoman don't have any term limits, but far as like county party chairs, they do have term limits, and they remove the term limits up from the county party chairs.
Right. Right. Exactly. So if and that's good if you have a GOP county, a county GOP where you absolutely love your chairman, and that's not a slam to you, Rachel.
No,
but I'm saying is if you got,
they still have to run. Like
right.
They've been there forever.
Right.
So you can still vote them out every 2 years if you don't like them.
Right. And they'll probably change that bylaw again, at the next SEC
what I don't
meeting.
understand is how you go into a meeting and you change a bylaw. Like every time they meet, basically they change a bylaw on a whim. They don't run it through a bylaw committee. They don't run it through any kind of thing. They just go in and somebody suggests it. As long as they have enough votes that they've garnered before they get to the little club meeting, they can just change bylaws on people.
Right.
I find that a horrible way to run your little club.
So I have heard Tim Beechin discuss that they do have a bylaws committee, and I think within that committee they also decide like county bylaws and their review, because you remember when y'all had to submit y'all's bylaws, they had to be updated because the Shelby GOP, when we went into reorganization, they hadn't updated any of their bylaws.
Yeah, but they
even when they were supposed to.
Like on a whim. They were deciding maybe they could add the whole you can't speak ill against your party. They discussed that at the last meeting to be voted on. It's like, I
Well,
thought, like, if you have these bylaws, these are your bylaws, and if you want to change it, you and amend them, like there should be like this process, but it seems like they do it all the time, is what I'm saying.
well, I would
So
have
here's
thought. I would have
here's the
thought. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah. So here's the problem that I have. Like I've been around and paying attention to this, where they go in these SEC meetings and change things. When Trump came in office, the only reason that Trump got elected because he had this big coalition of different people.
Mm-hmm.
You had libertarians, you
Yeah.
had Democrats that were the tech bros out in the West Coast, and you had your diehard conservatives. They became the Avengers. They basically came together to defeat Joe Biden or Kamala Harris and the Democrats. And every time this SEC meets, like they think about how to make it harder and harder for anybody to run for office. Everything they're putting in place is counterproductive, trying to keep it down to only a handful of people can even run. Because the reality is they're not pushing anybody out to any of these primaries to run. I mean, it's just a sad fact. Nobody votes in the primaries, and they have to take some kind of responsibility for that. So if you have a very small pool of people that can run for the primaries because none of them are 3 for 4, I think you have to start looking at it as how do we get more people to run for office and make our primaries more competitive. I personally think it should be two out of 4 and 3 out of the 4 that you should be able to get on the ballot. But they just get so many nuances like, oh, wow, we don't like this person because they said that. I mean, I use this joke and I say it in my VFW post when they were asking, how was it possible they kicked me off the ballot? I said, well, the Republican Party can do this. I'm using this jokingly. They could say, we don't like people that put creamer in their coffee. So we're going to be the party. If you put any creamer in your coffee, you can't get on the ballot. But it's that petty. They are doing things. And then Kristin New is the prime example. Bona fide Republican, like volunteers, holds a leader position. Everybody knows Kristin by first name. All your elected officials. But because I'm just using this, somebody had a hard on against Kristin New and wanted to get her off the ballot. They used something so trivial, and they just teamed up like the bunch of little mean girls and got and removed her off the ballot, not because she's a Republican, because they don't like her. That's the only reason. And so how are we supposed to have a republic? We don't have a republic if you're going to control the ballot like this. Because look at it. Tennessee is a super majority Republican state. You cannot do anything in Tennessee without being a Republican. The Democrats stand no chance. So if we're controlling the ballot and they're kicking off people just because you don't like them, it's an authoritarian. There's a very small group that controls it. And this is how democracy, I hate to use these words because I sound like a Democrat when I do this. This is how democracy dies, because they're literally the gatekeepers of the ballot. And they're kicking people off because Kristin's a prime example of who they just don't like her. They just don't. It's not because she's not a Republican. It's just that they just do not like her. That's the simple reason for all this.
It's because they know I'll go into a meeting and I might not vote with them if I don't like what they're doing.
And you're voting your conscience and your mind.
Right. So
sorry, I'm like running on. Go ahead, Kristin.
Oh, I was just saying. So what they like to do. So they're shrinking. They like to shrink the SEC, and they only put people on that they will just go along to get along. They really want to just go to all the fun stuff, and they'll just go in there and vote and not really make any waves or anything like that. But then they're also shrinking the ballots, and they're only putting certain people on the ballots that they want in order to protect themselves, basically. And then that shrinks the voter base, which then shrinks the party. Like it's this, they're going backwards. It's backwards. You should be wanting to expand all of these things. And that's what the grassroots people were doing. They were expanding, starting at the other end, expanding the messaging, expanding the voters, expanding the memberships, expanding the people that were turning out at the polls. And then we're starting to catch up to them, up to their Now we've got grassroots people running for the SEC. That's how the grassroots people were expanding. And they're like, oh, no, 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 no. You can't do that. Or in the local Republican Party, we had grassroots people wanting to hold votes in the Republican Party. And they were like, no, 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 no. Y'all have to go over here. And so they just like put a kibosh on it and they just shut it down.
Right.
So here's where I have a problem. As a constituent that lives in District 31, if you're not familiar for District 31, it's the state Senate seat that Brent Taylor holds. That the SEC that I have right now is not reflective, I believe, of the Republicans that live in that district. You have, and I'm just using this term, it is a bunch of inbred group. Like they're just feeding each other and just reproducing the same thing over and over again. And so we need to play out over the primaries for the school boards. That was something overwhelmingly that you had parents, the majority of them coming out of Senate District 31 wanted that. So this is all a reaction of everything that's happened from the primaries, school board primary fight up to now. So you're robbing us of a voice that's more reflective of our beliefs in State Senate District 31. There's no reason that we shouldn't have SEC members that are conservative as Brent Taylor and that are willing to fight for us on that state executive committee. And right now, we've got a Nancy Pelosi, and I don't even know who he is, but it's like they're aged out, they're not fighting for us, and they're not reflective of the Republican base that lives there. And we wonder why we get 18 to 20% people that turn out to vote for the general election. Let me change this. For the primary, I believe you'll probably have around 10% that'll show up in May for the election.
Yeah, most people, they don't even know what the SEC is, much less who their SEC representative is.
Right. And I had what I've got up on the screen. I had this discussion with Rachel. I'm like, I can understand, doing the amendments and this, that, and the other, but this particular amendment and the one that they just did on the whim this past weekend, I mean, you would have thought that something like this, it says in December 2025, the TRP, TNGOP State Executive Committee amended its bylaws to strengthen the enforcement of bona fide Republicans rules, this is what they did. Key changes. What I can't understand, and maybe I can get somebody, do you want me to
explain what happened out of that?
I'll take a call. I'll take a call from either Scott Golden or Scott Golden's office. But why would you make this change right before the election? Why not do it either at the end of 2024, before the next round of elections comes, or after the 2026 elections for the ones following in 2028? I mean, why would you make this big of a change? Now, I realize that the rules that they had in place have been in place for 10 or 12 years, but this amendment here changed everything. The waiver process changed. Previously, a candidate challenged on bona fide status could qualify by having another bona fide Republican vouch for them. And I've got a story. She couldn't make it tonight, but I'll read a little bit about her story. Mariah Bailey in Sevierville. The amended rules required a waiver to be approved by majority vote of the state chairman and each SEC member representing the district. So that would be Scott Golden, Peggy Larkin, and Randy Hendon. In your district, in District 31.
That's District 31.
Right,
so the districts, the people that don't know that are watching, the districts, you have a male and a female representative. So
the wording on that in the bylaws is kind of weird. The way they've got that weirded.
When they changed that December of 2025, because I remember it because that was right before a reorganization. Actually,
yes.
Lee Mills came to the VFW and did a overview of the reorganization process. The voucher program was, or not voucher program, but where somebody would vouch for you was getting abused. And so like there was a candidate out of East Tennessee that had like been a lifelong Democrat, and you would find one of your buddies that was, elected Republican, and they would be, if you could find like a bona fide, like elected Republican to vouch for you, they were basically given Democrats the pass to get voted on. But another one that changed, so before December, it used to be, this was another change they did. It used to be if you were 3 out of 4 Republican, you were considered bona fide.
Right.
Well, they changed that to where of the last 4, if you voted in a Democrat or a primary other than Republican, you would be, then they changed the language to qualified to bona fide. Like, so for me, I was a qualified Republican. I was be able to participate in reorganization, but they wouldn't consider me a bona fide because 4 years ago I voted in a Democrat primary, but there was no grandfather like in on any of that. But this goes back to the waiver process is still in place, but that's so like shadowy and like, how do you get that? And the waiver process is still happening because, I mean, it happened in Shelby County. There were 8 people they left on the ballot that were not bona fide. And they gave those to the 8 people, but for some reason, 3 people didn't get those. Justin Johnson, John Covington, and Judge Joe Brown. I mean, the one, the highlight that got it was John DeBerry. John DeBerry has the same exact voting record I have. 3 out of the 4. Then the 4th one, he voted in a Democrat primary. And I heard Kristin say this, and I believe this. If you're going to have a standard and you're going to have bylaws, you need to apply that standard to everybody else, and that's not happened. They are playing gatekeeper with the ballot, and they're kicking off people. And Kristin is a prime example of this is true. They're removing people they don't want from the ballot. They're not following any like bylaws or standard. It's literally, let's find somebody to remove you because you're a threat.
Yeah, so all their excuses go out the door. At first they say, well, they're not bona fide, so we got to kick them off. Well, they gave waivers to some people, and some people are 0 out of 4. They got a waiver.
Yeah.
So, and then they said, well, it's because you were running against a bona fide candidate. That's not anywhere in the bylaws that say, well, if you happen to be running against this person, then you have to go. But then you had a situation where you had 2 non-bona fide candidates, and they gave a waiver to one and not the other. So it was all like none of their excuses were panning out. So then I said, I am 4 out of 4, hold a position in the party, and ran before that all got thrown out the window, ran the outreach committee. There's no way, I'm bulletproof, basically. There's no way they can kick me.
Right.
Then they kicked me. And that's when it all broke loose, because now even some of those little fake excuses they were given do not apply. Like there's no excuse now.
And think about it. When Kristin was elected for reorganization, you had to have all bona fide Republicans to show up, not just show up on election day. 3 out of 4 Republicans showed up and elected her in a Tennessee House district. So to me, Kristin has more approval than probably any other Republican that's applying right now, because she's ran an in-person election where the majority of the Tennessee House district, which is Mark White, showed up and voted for her. So this is a total disenfranchisement for voters. Like this is like, I made a video, then I deleted it, but I'm very sad to be an American right now. If this is what they're going to do to our republic, if this is what they're going to take our voice away as voters, because there is no Democrat that's going to run in for the state Senate, the state House seat. Well, yeah, there'll be a state Senate Democrat run, but it's a majority Republican. So we have no options at all.
Right.
And if you don't get people to show up to these primaries because you've given them no more to vote, it also affects other people on that ticket that are not right. So it'll affect other races all the way down the ballot, because you have screwed up some of these smaller races. It's going to affect some of these bigger races. Right.
The statement you made a few minutes ago about not being able, I don't know if I read that on a post or if it's somewhere. I mean, I've perused the bylaws, both Tennessee GOP and the Shelby County GOP bylaws. And,
I think you want a goose hunt. I said, go find that, Dean. Go find that where it says that if your opponent is bona fide and you're not, then you are automatically kicked.
Have you
See,
I mean,
It's not in there.
that's what they hope. I've read the bylaws from the appendix all the way to the back. The majority of them, I would challenge the majority of your Republican of Shelby County CEC members and SEC members have never read the bylaws. They're going on secondhand information that somebody else told them. You know, whenever somebody tells me something, like I'm like, okay, I got to go back. Let me see this is in the bylaws. And they're I'll tell you what, it's not making it up. They're lying to you all to try to make all their lies credible.
right.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that's in the bylaws is 3 out of 4 Republican primaries, no Democrat primary. That makes you bona fide. And then if you're challenged, the burden of the proof is on the candidate to prove that they are a bona fide. And that's where I have a problem of, like, there was enough evidence for myself to be a bona fide Republican. Like, I had a legitimate excuse that why I voted in a Democrat primary. Same thing as with John Covington. Like, everybody knows he was a bona fide Republican. I mean, Judge Joe Brown has stumped with President Trump. Literally, he flew down to Georgia. He was stumping down there with him, like for the presidential election. Like, you gotta be. What we need is, and I think this is what Kristin would add to the SEC. We need somebody that will be fair, regardless of personalities. Like, we don't need somebody clicking up and being like this whole mean girl group, just kicking people off to try to control stuff. We need somebody to say, hey, you know what? I really don't like you, but here's the standards, and this is what we're going to go by. We're not going to go by because a group wants to maintain power and control, and that's what's happening right now.
To answer Jamie's question, no, Scott is king. Scott is king.
Okay, I was about
He's
to
like
ask. I would think that I don't even know if he answers to Bill Lee, does he?
No, he's chairman of the private club. He's king.
So the way with the Tennessee Republican Party is a private organization, and they're protected under the First Amendment. I learned a lot of this when they were trying to close the primaries, and they were having basically discussion in committees. And Steve Hickey, actually is the Williamson County chair, was going to discuss it. And Todd Gardshire, this state senator out of Chattanooga, was like railing against him. And they explained it. Yeah, the Tennessee Republican Party is a private organization. They're protected under the First Amendment, which means that because they're protected under the First Amendment, they can make whatever rules they want. I have a problem is because you're only going to get elected if you got an RRD behind your name. And if we're controlling the ballot so much, we're kicking people off just because you don't like them. Like, we don't have a choice. Like, nobody's going to vote for an independent. Independents can't get elected in this.
I have a problem. I don't understand how a private club who is beholden to nobody, they have no constituents, how they are publicly elected, but yet they don't have to do sunshine laws. They don't have to do open meeting requests. They don't have to do, you can't FOIA them. So they're beholden to nobody, yet they are controlling the public ballot. That is, to me, it's like you're having it both ways. So that I don't understand that. Like, I need somebody to explain how that is possible.
Well, I mean,
that's getting allowed.
I don't, y'all. I mean, I probably say this every episode when it comes to this stuff. I'm still green. I mean, Kristin, for everybody out there, Kristin is the one, and it was Kristin and Justin at KWAM. And June, I think, of 24.
Those fun morning shows.
In 24. And I was going to check these guys out, meet Ben Dieter and everything else. And I stopped short of the door because Justin and Kristin were walking out and they were telling me what all was going on. And Kristin said, you should come. It's at the Great Hall in Germantown, and we need more conservative voices and minds and everything else like that. So that was my start. And, I mean, I'm learning, but I'm still, there's people that I would like to talk to. And I've got great respect for Lee Mills. And in a very friendly way. I love Amber. She's awesome. She I hope she does well in this upcoming election. But I mean, there's several of them have reached out to me that said that they would sit down and talk with me about some of the things, and that helps me
They
out
need to come on
to
here and
understand.
talk about it though, so that we can hear what they have to say. That's what they like to do though. They don't want to text her. They want to meet you, and then it's this private conversation, and they can say whatever they want. But I need them to be more transparent. I need them to come on these shows and then explain to the rest of the world why things are the way they are.
Yeah.
So that's my challenge.
They're
for
not.
you,
You know
Bill,
why?
and for anybody else.
Do it now.
You know why? Because then the truth would come out of, we didn't like these candidates, so we had to get rid of them. But we didn't. It was only 3 that we knew that we had to get rid of, and then it would come out, well, it was only Kristin, even though she's a bona fide and has been elected to the party. We couldn't have her in office, saying all this stuff at SEC meetings and, being a voice for the actual constituents. That's what we don't want. We don't want a real voice for the constituents. We want a puppet that we can control. That's what they want.
I did find that.
It's time to, I'm sorry. It's time to stop, to just tell the truth about it, because, here's where I'm upset, because I've lived in Shelby County my entire life. We just had President Trump here show up for the success of the Memphis Safe Task Force. The reason we had to have the Memphis Safe Task Force here was because of failure of local government. And you have to include Republicans and Democrats both in that.
It works both ways.
The Republican Party a long time ago said something about crime. Didn't. Got to this point, the President of the United States and Todd Starnes had to step in and do something. So there's a big change that's happening, and that's all we want. We want local government to approve, but it can't improve if you're literally being the gatekeeper of the ballot. You're not even letting us even have primaries. You're not even letting us have these debates of how to make government better. Instead, you're basically handpicking who can go in. So I have no sympathy for them. I have no sympathy for them because I don't want to see, your mom or your wife get carjacked. Like, I don't want to see, businesses closed down all down Poplar because nobody will go to any restaurants because their cars are getting broke into. That's the results we have when people don't let dissenting voices speak, and they try to treat it like some old, country club. Like, you can't say anything offensive, but all we're doing is saying the truth. Like, all we're doing is saying the problems, and they don't want to even discuss the problems.
Do we understand like how much power that these country club people have at the SEC? You have 3 or 4 people making all the rules, everybody else going with them, and then it's affecting like 700,000 people. It's affecting their lives. It's like you said, it's affecting my kids who don't feel safe in the streets. It's affecting my teenagers who can't go down to Bill Street for a Grizzly game because they're afraid that their cars are going to get carjacked. It's affecting everybody, and it comes from the top.
Right.
And the top has got a stranglehold. And I don't understand how it's allowed.
Well, I mean, if you don't understand, I sure as heck don't understand. I mean, we've got, I've hosted Brad, and I've hosted Marco's next week, and I've hosted John, and both of them, between the 2 of them, and I've read other places. I mean, we're 600 police officers, MPD, 600 police officers short. In Memphis, and 900 Shelby County deputies short. How big was the task force? 1,500 people.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I think the task force was about 1,500 people.
Okay.
That's not including that doesn't include the National Guard.
No.
It was a 1,500. Yeah. So we still have crime. I mean, 2 people were shot over the weekend. You had massive fights around Bill Street, and did anybody see the 7-year-old getting robbed of $10 at gunpoint?
No.
Yes.
Lord.
Yep. Sure was.
Oh my God. Yeah, so this is only going to get worse as the summer goes along, as we know that anytime the weather gets hot, everybody comes outside and they start fighting in Memphis.
Right.
They overwhelm our police officers. They're overwhelming the National Guard, and they're unreasonable when you try to arrest them or to even calm the situation. Like, and these people will kill you.
Oh yeah.
They will.
Yeah.
Well, so the difference between like the Memphis Police Department and even the Sheriff's Department now, like the sheriff or even the police chief C.J. Davis, they don't have these officers back. Like you don't have it in
No.
law enforcement anymore, where it's like, hey boys, y'all go out there and y'all do what you need to do to get crime down, shake down
And
every
clean this up.
corner.
Uh-huh.
Instead, every time they go and start being effective, like the task force is, the community will or the left wing community will throw a fit and say, "Oh, they're harassing everybody." Like it took. That's why, like Jim Benning said it last time at the VFW. Like people want somebody like Trump that comes in, that doesn't apologize, and totally disrupts the whole system. And that's
Right.
what we were trying to basically do by running a bunch of candidates in these races. Like Kristin knew, I'm saying this because I want Kristin New back on the ballot. She's a
Oh
person
no, what's
that
happening?
would come in
They
and
hate me so much.
disrupt the system. Like that's what it's going to take. Like the people, if you keep putting these same people in these SEC, nothing will change here. Nothing.
Nothing.
It will all go back to the way it's before. They've got all establishment people to all these commission seats. Like nothing's going to change. They're just yes people to the system. And this whole ecosystem got you to the point where it was so bad Donald Trump had to send the Memphis Safe Task Force. And we should be counting the days that we still have the Memphis Safe Task Force here. Or they might already be gone because it's going to go back to what it was before then. And I'm sorry. I love Brent Taylor, but there's only so much laws that he can pass in the Tennessee legislature to get things done because it takes local entities like an effective sheriff's department and a county commission that will work with them to carry out all this stuff that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to have a very good mayoral race. We had such a great opportunity to bring in people from all sides. Judge Joe Brown would have attracted more crossover votes than anybody. And they didn't want him on. And from the committee selection or the candidate selection committee, chairman of that, told me that we need a moderate mayor. And I was like, we need a Trump type mayor.
Right.
I mean, here's the problem with the Republican Party, and I'm going to get thrown off a ballot for the rest of my life for saying this. But they keep worrying about the Democrats coming over and voting for them. And when they do that and ignore their base, they lose their base. And their base doesn't come vote because their base doesn't want to vote for a squishy, moderate Republican. So now they've thrown away the baby with the bathwater because you're trying to depend on maybe getting a few crossover votes in exchange for throwing away your for real, for sure base votes. It blows my mind. It is like the worst idea ever. And they keep doing it.
Right. Me and Chase had a conversation about, let's see, how did it go? About about closing the primaries. He said there should be a time for that. Now is not the time because there's a lot of things that have to happen for that to happen. And we're too scattered right now. We don't have enough. What he said was, we do not have enough grassroots, strong people in each of the GOPs, each county GOP, to where you can steadily build it. We've got to build grassroots within the SC or all the county GOPs in order to not so much push out those people, but to push out those people, the ones that are inactive, the ones that don't The week,
That's good in
the
theory,
week.
but they won't let us in unless we close the primaries. See, they manipulate the ballots, and we can't get into these positions because the primaries are open, and then they can decide who's bona fide, who's not. We got to shut that down. See, I think it's got to be backwards.
Well,
Yeah. So here's what I believe. I believe that Tennessee long ago, that Tennessee was a blue state. Like it really was. It went back and forth between Republican and Democrat. So even a lot of your older Republicans, there used to be Democrats, and they changed over really during the Obama years. And so Republicans want to change and make it closed primaries because they still benefit from Democrat votes. Like the people flip flop back and forth, and so they don't want to close it. So I think we do need to close it because that'll make it a lot easier for, you'll get rid of this whole bona fide thing. The whole bona fide thing will go away. All you'll have to do is just be a registered Republican or a registered Democrat to vote in the primary. Or not vote in the primary, to run as a candidate. Yeah.
Whether you match their values or not.
Well, Rebecca's husband made a statement on, he sent me a few things, and I was going to show that, and I still may show that if I can find it again. I saved it. But one of the things that he said was the reason, with the open primaries, say somebody wants a weak Republican to be elected in the primaries, so Democrats can come in and vote for that weak Republican that's going to go up against the strong Democrat.
That was the Operation Chaos that got a whole bunch of Republicans in trouble.
So yeah, I mean, this lady said, I'll do that. She said, I don't care. I'll vote Republican just so I can knock the weak Republican out of office at the general elections.
So that's what happened in Williamson County when you had the state senator race when Gary Humble ran against Jack Johnson, which Williamson County is a majority Republican. They pulled the data and showed that it was like 300 or 400 votes that Gary Humble lost because of crossover votes from Democrats for the state Senate district.
Yeah, I don't need a Democrat telling me who my person is. Yeah, I close the primaries. I am a close the primaries like purist, I guess. I want them closed.
It's also, it goes back to, if we're a private party, and if they're about being such of a purist like party and holding these standards, why would we let Democrats vote in our primaries?
I don't.
You can't say anything about Republicans, but Democrats can vote in our primaries. Make that make sense.
That makes sense. Now, what is it called when you don't have when everybody's on one ballot? What is that called? And then you just kind of go. It's like a free for all. Some states have that.
Ballot.
The jungle ballot.
Yeah, jungle.
Yeah, the jungle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think about a jungle ballot?
A jungle ballot?
Mm-hmm. So you don't.
I don't know. Runoffs and jungle ballots. I don't know. And even I don't like it where, like you see where, I think, like Ken Paxton and John Thune ran, and that's a runoff. Like neither one of them got like 50%. I'll take it, for instance, the runoff. You remember the Collierville Alderman race where neither one of them got 50%, and then they turned it off, and Nick Robbins ran against, I can't think of his name, but it was like in December. I think it was like less than 1,000 people showed up to vote. I think I like it. The majority just wins and they take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's move to Kristin specifically, and let's see if this will pop up like I want it to. Oh yeah, look at there. All right, we're going to play your series of videos from the time that you found out, and we'll pause between each one to you can tell us what you were thinking about after making it and going back and watching it.
Okay. Oh, I don't have sound.
Yeah, it doesn't got any. You may have to share the sound, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. How do I do that? I wonder.
Well, when you shared it, it's probably going to ask if you can turn sound on Like go under your settings,
Play.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
What she is.
So push play, and there was like a little microphone or a little whatever that's called, megaphone at the top.
Yeah,
Push play
microphone.
again.
Let's see. Well, I don't know. It's coming through my sound. I can hear it, but
See
I'm
right
not
there.
You-
Click that thing.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
turn it all the
may
way
have
up.
to just share the.
Let's see if I can share the audio. Where's Chase or Daniel when you need them? Let's see. Does
I mean,
it
you
say?
pause it right at Kristin like she's geeking out.
I look like that's like a meme face. Like,
All right. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Let me start it again. See.
well, hurry up and get it better. Yeah. Okay. Now you can stop.
Can you?
That's even better.
Can y'all hear the sound or no? If not, then I
No,
won't
I
play.
can't hear the sound.
No, but can you turn it all the way up? See if that helps. Like,
No,
click on
I don't think it's turned up. I think it's because you have to share the. You have to share the
I'm gonna
sound.
have to share the sound, and I'm not. Let's see if I can. Let's see if this thing said. No, that's not it.
I mean,
Customize.
Kristin made
No.
the video. She can probably tell you what was in it or what she did.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
just tell you what was in
Yeah.
it.
Well, you had this one when you found out, and then you had.
That one I kind of went through the whole process of us going through the school board, starting going to the school board meetings. So we started going to the school board meetings because they were violating the rights of our children. And we, several parents and I were not going to put up with that, but we were getting nowhere with the school board meetings.
Right.
So we decided to go to our Republican Party to ask for help. So Justin was one of them. So we had a couple moms and Justin set up a meeting with Terry Rowland. And in that meeting, Justin, I guess you can tell you were there. I wasn't there for that.
Yeah.
one.
So what we did was none of us had met each other at all before, and so we all, through social media, and I think I knew like Carrie Swim was the only person I met before because they had asked me to speak from the VFW at one of the Republican meetings. But this was really my introduction really into Republican politics. Because I've seen some things where, partisan school board elections would have cleaned up things. So
Right.
what I did was started just reaching out to parents, organize it, never had met these parents before. We set up a meeting with the leadership of the Republican Party. I think we all had the best intentions. We just wanted to come to a place of, understanding of why the Republican Party of Shelby County was so against partisan school boards because, to a majority of us, base Republicans, we didn't understand this. And so when we got into that meeting, that was the most confrontational, disrespectful meeting I've ever been. In fact, it got so bad that I had to step in and ask one of the SEC members to stop insulting a mom. And there's audio that's out there. But this just showed me like the problem is when these people stay in these seats so long, they get so detached from the base of people that they're supposed to represent because they never had to go around the base. It's all about country club, meetings. And, this started us. We're like, well, if this party isn't going to represent our conservative values, we're just going to have to, I hate to use this term, but wage war against them, to show up, to expose them. And this was really, I think, our, normative moment where we started running candidates. And it's came to a point where they're not allowing even candidates to run.
Yeah.
Now that was not a regular CEC meeting. I think you told me that.
That was a private meeting that we had set up with Terry Rowland.
Okay.
So he was
with Terry Vaughn. Terry happened to be. Yeah,
Terry
so I reached out to
the chairman. He was the chairman of the party at the time.
So I reached out to the chairman, Kerry Vaughn, and he set it up. He had Terry Rowland, which is the SEC member for District 29, I believe.
Yeah.
And then you had a school board member from Germantown, 2 from Millington, or an alderman from Millington, and another school board member from Millington. And there was somebody else.
With a bunch of people against a couple of parents. Like these parents, they're like, whoa, I didn't realize we're going to have all these people here.
Right.
They brought the army.
So Kristin Hicks, she was there. Laurie Williams is now elected to the Republican Party. And then there was like a couple other parents that were there. So it was a group of parents, including me, because I'm a parent, against elected officials in the Republican Party.
So when that went south, we really pushed for the closed, the partisan primaries
Right.
for school board members. And they kicked us out of the CEC meeting. We were not allowed in. They went into executive session but before that, they brought in John DeBerry. They brought in Mike Palazzolo. They brought in some aldermen to speak against us. So some very powerful people were up there speaking against us. We had Brent Taylor on our side, so he spoke for us. But they would not allow Brent Taylor into the room, but they allowed all of their people in as special guests to their closed executive session. So they locked Senator, and they let school board people in. They let all these people in. So we're all staying out in the hallway. And then one of the CEC members comes out of that meeting in tears. She's just crying. And she says, Terry is saying that if we don't vote against you guys, we will get personally sued. And that scared her. She's like, I cannot be sued. I do not have the money. So the bully tactics, I had a real problem with. If you're going to fight us fair, but don't use your influence and your power to bully these poor people into getting your way. So that's when we knew that we had to take over the party. So go ahead, you pick it up from there.
Yeah. So when we say grassroots, we're really the grassroots. We're a bunch of parents, a bunch of nobodies that hold no elected positions, going up against this whole ecosystem of the establishment of elected leaders, of party leaders. That's all we want is, to have a government that is reflective of us. So, I don't understand how anybody else is going to say they are the grassroots, because I think us is the definition. We are the purest form of grassroots that there is.
Well, I've had several conversations with other, I guess the vice chair, vice first chair, second chair, whoever. I mean, it's okay. Some of them have come to me, and one of them in particular has said, there's a lot of times that I feel like I'm being lumped into this stuff, and I'm using my voice. I'm getting shut down sometimes, but I'm using my voice to tell these people that, look, it shouldn't be this way. They're not, but they feel like they're getting lumped in sometimes by the comments on Facebook and this, that, and the other when they're actually.
Then they need to start standing up for us. Okay.
Well, we already know, we all know, and those out there listening and everything, watching and everything, know that there are bullies. After I listened to the audio that Justin sent me with that meeting with the parents trying to get the partisan school board things.
We're trying to fight for our kids. Yeah.
Right. I started doing a little research, and that's not the only time that he's been that Terry has been a bully. I saw where when he was on the commission, he got into it with several people. I read an article where he got into it with what's his name, Mark, that's running for commission in Germantown, Shelby County Commission in Germantown, Mark Billingsley, that he got into it with him. It's searchable stuff. It didn't take long to find it, but I don't know what the answer is. I'm just, if y'all feel like y'all are the Walmart Republicans, that must put me in the Dollar Tree store Republican, because that's
basically how we've been treated.
Yeah, here's what I think happens on the SEC, and this is just what I've been told. I'm all getting this from secondhand information, that on the SEC for the Shelby County delegation, that all the people that sit there is Terry Rowland pretty much runs the show on the SEC, and he pretty much manhandles Lee, and they get together, and they're the two powerful people in the SEC, and they just get everybody else in the SEC to bend to and get them to do what they want. So that's why they didn't want somebody like Kristin on there. And I hope I'm not killing Kristin's chances of getting back, but I think she's okay.
Their chances are dead. What are you talking about? No, but that's because we've already dealt with all of those people. Like you can't bother me. You can't struggle us we've already been through the struggle, and we just said there's nothing we can do to us. And then they get frustrated, and then they kick me off a ballot.
They need a bunch of older people that are in the nursing homes that they can just, bully and do whatever to exert their will. They don't want any people to be on the SEC that care about representing their constituents. They want a bunch of, and that's what the Republican Party of Shelby County. They're not arguing back and forth. They got rid of the people that, would challenge things or question, or maybe we should do it this way. And that's just not good for the health of the party. Like, I've got my own way, but I know that for a healthy organization, you need people that are going to disagree with you. You need to have a little bit of back and forth. Iron sharpens iron. Like, that's the only way we get better in this whole process. Yeah.
And we can have tough conversations as an adult. I mean, you can say you don't agree with me. I'm going to tell you why I think the way I do. And I expect you're going to do the same for me. But when you just shut me down and you kick me out because you don't agree with me, but you don't give me any reason why, you just say you have to go.
Right.
Then I have a huge problem with that. And I also have a huge problem with people using their power and influence to sway the way that they want to go. And that is not, to me, representative of the people. You are protecting yourself. That is a selfish way to rule. And you are not that. You got to go when you're starting to do that. So
let me ask you both a question, and I'll let you go first, Justin. But it's the same question to both of you. I mean, I watch what everybody posts. I mean, I see, and I sometimes I jump in, sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay. Do you think sometimes you could pull the reins back just a little bit with some of the posts or whatever? I mean, because there was one the other day. There was one the no.
Let me tell you why. Because that's the only power we have, Dean. You're asking us to give the only thing we've got away. We don't have any power in any of these meetings. We are overruled every single time, outvoted, overruled, kicked out.
Yeah.
I will not give in.
So I mean, so y'all have, I mean, I don't know. And whenever, I say this from a point that I'm saying is, I've never had any issues with, I mean, I've never met Terry Rowland. I think I have a long time ago, whenever there was racing going on at motorsports and things like that. I think that's whenever I met him, maybe once or twice. And I'm Chris Thomas, but as far as Lee goes, I mean, I've never had any issues with Lee.
You haven't run for anything.
Well,
so can I answer this?
Just wait till you do.
Go ahead. Because I mean, one of the things when I said that, one of the things is, I think Todd Payne posted on this post that I'm talking about, this thread that I'm talking about, and so did Lisa Arnold, that maybe we should take some of this away from, off the Facebook page and try to come together. But have y'all tried? I mean, it obviously sounds like y'all have tried to talk with these people. Let
me discuss this. So going all the way back to the partisan school board primary where we tried to sit in an office, we've been down this road. We've sat in rooms. We've had a reorganization where we elected people to get to this point where everything was fair. Now we're to the point is, for me to have a voice, I would have a competitive primary for May and August. They took that away. They removed people. They're controlling the ballot. So we don't have anything but to voice our grievances and our First Amendment rights that we're guaranteed, that are God-given rights to talk about these issues. Because what I've learned, and I think if Kristin has learned, you can have the best intentions of the world of trying to talk to these people, of being fair, but they are not fair individuals. They have ulterior motives, whatever they are, but they're not for having the best government that we can have. and everything's been that way. Like they didn't like. I go back to the Kristin Hicks running as 4th vice chair. She had a strong coalition of people that were behind Kristin Hicks that were running, but for some reason,
she had 36 endorsements.
Yeah,
for a vice
chair position. That wasn't her pick. So every endorsement that Kristin was getting, the chair of the party would pick up the phone and say, "Take that down off social media. What are you doing? Don't endorse her." So when we're not allowing, like, you're using your position to change elections, like, to be effective as a party, like, we need people that will stay neutral and know how to bring both sides together and just let it be settled.
Let the process play out.
Yeah.
If somebody else wanted to run, then let them run. Let the process play out, but they control the process. And then when we call them out on it, they tell us we need to back off. Well, if you don't want to be criticized, stop doing the stuff that I'm criticizing you for. Don't try to shut down the people who are exposing it. You just need to stop doing it.
Right.
And think about it. They kicked Kristin off the ballot for expressing her God-given right, which is her First Amendment right. For Kristin New. They kicked her off the ballot.
Yeah.
And she's a 4 for 4, like a bona fide Republican. So you can't say that these people are being spared off. They, like Dean, if outside of politics, all these people I would get along with. I wouldn't have any problem at all.
Right.
But now
that's just wait. And you run for something, they don't like the way you talk, then the people that you think are nice people all of a sudden start talking about you and writing letters and submitting them and saying that you're a terrible person and that you shouldn't be running for office. I have nothing but nice things to say about Peggy Larkin before that. I worked with her at the headquarters. She sits right behind me in most of the meetings, which is
she broke up.
Crazy that she says I'm not active when she's sitting right behind me. I have nothing against her. The only reason why and I said that in the video, she just happens to live in my same district. If I lived in a different district, I would be running against that person.
Right.
So instead of letting the process play out and the democratic process play out where people get to pick who they want, I'm now being bum rushed by all of these people. So no, I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to stop posting. I'm not going to quit calling them out until they stop doing this kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, you know that, like any situation, like even in a work situation, because I mean, that's the only thing I can compare it to. I mean, y'all know what happens more behind the scenes with the Shelby County Republican Party than I do. I mean, some of the people in the comments, they didn't comment this, but there's a lot of people that asked me what the hell's going on in the Shelby County Republican Party.
And that's good, right? That's good.
Well, yeah, when you have constituents asking what is going on in the Shelby County Republican Party,
involved.
Why? And you see posts on Facebook. You'll see posts on Facebook from people that aren't in the Republican Party that may want to become a part of the Republican Party, but they'll post something like, why can't y'all bring do y'all have anybody? Is there anybody? This was before John DeBerry. But people would ask,
where's the candidate?
Does the Republican Party have a mayoral candidate? And I said, we're actively searching for somebody right now. But I mean, that's all I know, because I'm not privy to everything that the election committee or the candidate committee knows. So, but when you've got other people asking, what the hell's going on with the Republican Party? I mean, why? Because they're watching the posts. They're watching the post and they're asking me, and I'm like, hey, you see the post just like I do? I have no idea. I don't know why you're asking me.
And so that's why I hate that we lost Worth, because Worth was really a fair person. He knew how to bring all these different factions together. And I really do think we would be having a different conversation if Worth didn't have to step aside, because Worth was a seasoned person. I think it helped out a lot that he was the chair for the Memphis City Council. he really had to work across different personalities, even though the Memphis City Council is it's nonpartisan. And you needed
Right.
somebody with that level of maturity that could deal with different personalities and still learn how to bring all of them together. And that's what we have. If you sum all this up, what's wrong with the SEC and the Shelby County GOP, we don't have any leadership right now. Nobody's being a leader. They're all being petty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true about Worth. Worth was really good about finding people who had strengths and then telling them, I'm not going to micromanage you. I am going to give you free reign to do what it is that you do. So he came to the grassroots people and he said, I need you guys to run outreach. This is what y'all do.
Right.
Here is a budget.
So I'll tell you what, even though,
and he let us go.
Right.
And he didn't try to control us, micromanage us, and we grew. I mean, it caught on fire. And then one of the other Kristin, for all of her work, when that fourth vice chair position came open, she was like, I should have a vote. I've been working headquarters and outreach committees and standing on sides of the road, holding up signs for people. I've worked on campaigns. She has brought them numerous candidates. She she's an editor, so she edits everything for them. She works on their newsletter every week, all this stuff, but she didn't have a vote. So she's like, I would like to have a vote now. I've proven myself. And they blocked her. The chairman and all the people in those positions blocked her because they don't want us to have a vote and they don't want us to move on from the hole that they stick us in and say, this is the only job you get to do. You get to do all of the work, but you don't get to have a seat at the table. And that's where the breakdown happened. And so when that happened, and I do not believe that would have happened under Worth. If Worth would have stayed, then none of that would have happened and it probably wouldn't have an open position. But let's say a position did come open under him and she wanted it, he would have not, I can tell you this with I believe this in my heart, he would have not have used his power and position to block anything. He would have let the process play out. And the reason why I know that is because that's the way he handled outreach. He let us just play it out. He said, y'all do it. I'm not micromanaging y'all. So that's what a good chairman does. He just, they kind of organize everybody and then they let them go and be good at their jobs. So
I definitely agree with that.
That's where that breakdown happened.
Two conversations that I had with Worth. So, but when they were doing reorganization and they had the slate of the Revive 2025, I felt so comfortable going into that. I hold no leadership position. I'm as grassroots as it gets. Worth picked up the phone and personally called me and he says, I was told that I need to call you. He said, I want you to be on this Revive 2025 team. And, he told me his plans and asked, if I would. And I took some time to think about it. Then I said, yeah, I'll support you for chairman. And the second thing is, neither one of our sheriff's candidates, neither one of them are bona fide. And, Worth is very forthcoming in the very beginning of, hey, we're not going to remove either sheriff's candidates. We're going to let it play out in the primary against each other and let the voters decide. And, I thought that was so healthy for a party to say. It's like, okay, I know both of these candidates are Republicans. No, they don't meet the standard by the bylaws, but we're going to let the base decide who they want to represent them in the sheriff's race. And that is, just so healthy because, Worth understood that to win elections, it's not going to take just the Republican Party of Shelby County. It's going to take individuals all throughout your precincts that know their neighbors are going to be able to activate people and get them to the polls. Because if we come so insular and think it's a group of like 20 people that meet in a room once a month, if they're going to do all the work to win elections, that hasn't panned out. That hasn't worked. We've got since 2018, this whole county's been blue. Like me and Kristin live in one of the only red districts left in Shelby County. All the rest of these people really controlling everything, majority of them, they live in blue districts. Like we're the base that's left here and you're shutting the base out.
Yeah, I've got
And somebody try to correct me that, because you do. I guarantee you, everybody that's going to be against it, you probably live in a blue district.
the let's see. I don't. I have to keep looking at which district I live in. Now I know that I'm in David. Is it David Whaley on the
So
commission?
you're for your state senate, yours is Sarah Kyle. So it's like
Sarah
a funny
Kyle.
shaped Sarah
Right.
Kyle is your state
Gerrymandered
senator.
district.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. And I thought all this time I was under Senator Brent Taylor's thing. But anyway, uh, the girl that was on the school board, she's running for the Shelby County Commission in my district. I think David Whaley is my district commissioner
So for
right
your
now.
house seat, it's probably John Gillespie and
Well, it is, but I'm talking
for,
local. I'm talking
for your
local. I'm
Shelby
not talking
County
state.
Shelby County Commission, it's going to be, I believe, District 13, and Amber Garcia or whatever it is, she's running on the
She's
Democrat side, and Ed
and
Apple
Ed
is running
Apple.
on the
Ed
Republican
Apple.
side. Yeah.
Right, right, right. So that I mean, I'll be voting Ed Apple for sure. There's
Well, here's the thing about Ed Apple. The very last primary that Ed Apple voted in was a Democrat primary. So he was given a waiver.
He was
So
given a
you see,
waiver.
like,
well, let's see. My worth story, my worth, well, not worst story, my worth story. I guess I moved back here in 2016 and was kind of paying attention to city local politics and everything else like that. And when there was a few things that I did not like what he was doing. And then whenever I found out that the SCGOP was recruiting him to run, on the Revive 25 ticket, I had a lot of questions and got a lot of good answers.
I had a lot of questions too. Yeah. Yeah.
And his actions, what he said and what he did, proved that he was the best person for the job. He came up to me one time and said, "What did you say to Philip Spinoza?" Because Philip's asking me who this Dean Franklin is. It's calling me out about going to a sheriff, announcement party for Buckner. It was Philip Spinoza was there, and what's her name? The other Republican on the starts with a B.
well, it was a majority of it was when his campaign announcement. Majority of the Republicans were there for Anthony Buckner's campaign.
Right, and so I called him out, and Worth said he's okay. He's okay. That's what he does. He calls people out, and that's why I nicknamed him the Bulldog. So, and I hope that everything's. Thank you, Kristin Hicks and Brandon Morrison. I hope that his wife is doing well. I mean, I know I can't even imagine what he's going through.
She is in remission right now.
She is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good deal. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea. I had testicular cancer back in 2004, and so when you hear the word cancer, you just kind of freak out. So that was my little deal. I'm gonna throw this back up because I mean, this face, I swear, this is Kristin. I think this is the last video.
Are you gonna meme me? No, that's not the last video, but that's
You were mad in that video.
That's the one where I was telling them y'all need to. They were okay. So let me give you all the background. So all day long for days, I have been getting phone calls, texts, emails from state people, from local people, from strategists. Let me tell you, this is what you need to do, Kristin. You need to do this, and you need to do this. And every time they would tell me what I needed to do, it involved me asking, like groveling, at me putting together my entire resume in like long form, me doing a petition and getting 100 signatures, me emailing and calling and getting all of my friends to email and call, and hours of work they are asking me to do. And I should never have been put off the ballot. So instead of asking the person who is falsely accused, and I'm mad about it still, don't ask me to do all of this stuff. You need to go to the person who is falsely accusing me and tell her to retract her statement. And there's, as far as I know, nobody's put any pressure on her, to be honest. They're putting pressure on me to defend myself, but they need to be putting pressure. All that pressure they put on me, all the tens and dozens of phone calls that I get every hour, they should all be doing that to her, saying, retract your statement. You know you're wrong. Have they done that? I don't think they have.
Yeah.
I don't think they have.
That's what I didn't like about the whole process, was that basically Kristin was assumed guilty and she didn't have the presumption of innocence at all. Like, and there's really, to be honest with you, even though they say you can appeal, like the chances of these people changing it is very, very slim.
I'm appealing to the same SEC members who denied my first application.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. That is insane.
And she's running against her. Like, why should the person you're running against in an election be able to remove you? Then they have the decision to put you back on. Like, that's madness.
Yeah. So once you get that seat, all you have to do is protest every single person who ever runs against you and get your little SEC buddies to agree.
So wasn't it you, Justin, that's maybe on something, or somebody said something about maybe having somebody from a different district look over the stuff or whatever?
Well, that's why John Covington was asking, because it was within his district is State Senator Paul Rose, so Charlotte Kelly and Lee Mills, and then I guess Terry Rowland inside of it. But some of them, they had business interests, that they were all part of a business together. So it would only be fair to have another group from another district be able to decide. And I think that's fair. If something's contested, why not? Especially if they've got some kind of conflict of interest, to get another SEC member to handle your appeal.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, and that's going to take another amendment to a bylaw, I'm sure, somewhere.
It's easy to do. They change the bylaws every day. So
I know. Flip a coin. Yeah. Okay. Not doing that. So there's your letter to Scott Golden. And it tells.
So I decided not to do a huge, as these protests, we were writing these protest letters. We were writing the appeal letters to the protested candidacy.
Right.
We were, the people who were kicked off, were sharing our letters with each other, right? Like, this is how I did it. This is how you did it. There were some remarkable letters written that were 10, 15 pages long.
Oh, good Lord.
Yes. That listed like every qualification they've done since like 1997. I wasn't going to do that. I decided I'm not going to do that. Right. I do not have to prove myself to these people. They already know who I am. The people I'm writing this to are my SEC members. Right. They already know me. I mean, I have to address it to Scott Golden because that's what it tells me to do in the letter that we were sent. But the people who actually vote on this are my SEC members. They already know. I was like, why would I waste my time? So I did a 1-page summary. That's what that is. You can get my little attitude a little bit, because I was like, you have to do the honorable thing. The honorable thing is to quit lying about me and to put me on, because I deserve to be on. And then at the end, after I list all my qualifications, I didn't even all of the qualifications. I just threw some out there. I just said, I've met every qualification that you outline in the bylaws. And anything else that anybody says about me is completely subjective. It's just their opinion of me. Right. But you don't throw people off the ballot because you have a bad opinion of them. No, you have to have a subjective list.
Yep. Sherry Garrett just posted. We have 45 plus pages of bylaws. The Democrats have 16.
Yeah. We just keep changing crap all the time. We make it too hard.
Look at in Shelby County, they have 8 mayoral candidates running. Yeah. Like, they're going to have debates. They're going to go in every single neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Democrats. We have one.
Already had like 3 forms.
Here's what's going to happen. They're going to go to all your establishment, and I mean establishment not in a bad way, but the established clubs. They'll go to the Whitehaven Club. DeBerry will speak. He'll go to the 2 Women's Country Club. He'll go to the East Shelby County Republican Club, and then he'll maybe find somewhere else to go. Meanwhile, the Democrats, the reason they don't have a Lincoln Day, and they're winning elections, but what they do is small level organization is they have all these different nonprofits, all these different groups they go to and get out the vote. And we're still playing the playbook that has lost us every single election. So I'll be honest with you, everybody says, oh, we had to have the Lincoln Day. When's the last time a Lincoln Day has won us an election?
You can have your Lincoln Day. I don't care. Have your Lincoln Day. But don't think that that's the end all be all. And that's the kind of way they treated it. And so apparently I got in trouble for saying that I didn't want to work on the Lincoln Day. That wasn't something I wanted to do. I wasn't excited about asking people to buy a $300 ticket. Actually, I'm kind of embarrassed to ask people to spend that much money on dinner.
I couldn't afford $300 tickets.
I'm not comfortable with that. And then I get in trouble for saying that.
Look, I'm going to get in trouble, and I'm never going to be able to run as a Republican because they're going to kick me off for saying this. But I've even heard GOP members say this. They have people that are buying tables for $15,000 and they're not showing up, but all they want to do is donate money to the party so they can control the candidates. That's what it's about. It's about controlling the candidates, which if you control the party, you control the candidates. So if I buy a table for $15,000, I can have enough influence. So every time I pick up the phone and I call the chair, you have to listen to me, whatever I want. You give me access to that candidate. And
they're also buying straw polls.
Oh yeah, we know all about that. We all know about that. Now, I was me and Melanie went out to the Fayette County Republican. That was probably the first and last one that we'll go to. But I mean, you've got to experience it at least once in your lifetime. And for $200 for a couple, it was well worth it. I mean, when it was first advertised, Tim Burchett. Well, we all love Tim Burchett. I mean, she follows him every day on Instagram, and every time she sees it, every time a Tim Burchett Instagram thing pops up, she asks him to run for governor of Tennessee. So when he walked straight up to us, I've met musicians before, I've met race car drivers before, and it was nothing like meeting Tim Burchett. I was geeking out. My tongue got fat. I couldn't talk. And he walks up, he goes, "Hey, I'm Tim Burchett." And I'm like, "No shit." He shakes my hand. He walks over, he puts his hands on Melanie's shoulders and kisses her on the cheek. And he starts talking to us. And he's just a really cool guy. I mean, snatched the phone out of my, and Kristin Hicks got the perfect picture.
He does the selfies. That's his thing. Yeah.
Yes. He snatched the phone out of my hand. And he said, "I got this. Get in here." I'm like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." But he had great words to say about Judge Joe Brown. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's,
well, they're either going to start listening or they're going to keep losing, honestly.
Here's what's going to happen. And I don't like this fact. The August election is going to happen and they're going to get blown out of the water. If I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong. But my feeling is they're about to get the brakes beat off of them for the August election. Like you're going to see, I don't know. And on the Democrat side, I think you're going to get the most radical on that end, whether it's, I think it'll probably be J.B. Smiley that you're going to get. Yeah, so you're going to have somebody that's going to be like anti-Memphis Safe Task Force as the mayor.
Talking about on the Democrat side.
Oh yeah.
Democrat side.
Well, if I had to, I don't know. What do you think about Dr. Marie Fagans? You don't think
They're
she
not
has
gonna
a
let her
chance
win.
against?
They're not going to let her win.
Yeah. She doesn't have the money. I mean, she hasn't even raised, I think like the last time I looked at her campaign finances, that I don't think she's raised over $20,000. Like,
Yeah.
they have the money, like Smiley and who's the other one? Lowry. They're your
Michael
two
Lowry.
big,
Yeah.
and Mikhail Lowry are like your biggest fundraisers.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
just to enter into it to be competitive, you need at least $100,000.
Right.
Marie she's too much of, she's kind of like us. Like they don't know what she's going to do next. She's unpredictable. She might find something she's not supposed to find out about. They're not going to fund her.
Well, she did that when she came on board
Yeah,
as she found out a whole lot of stuff.
And they're not going to fund her. They're not going to let her win.
Here's where I think that her weakness is too. She hasn't figured out how to break out of that playbook that she's fighting the school board. A lot of her talking points are from her fight about the school board. Shelby County's got way more issues than just about, the school board's important, but she doesn't know how to turn out of that and start talking about all the other issues outside of that.
Right.
And that's where Democrats are really chewing her up.
Well, I'm going to show everybody that has never met Kristin New before. The Shelby County. Now, of course, again, there's not going to be any sound, but she is one of the biggest cheerleaders here in Shelby County. There's no sound. I can't do the sound for some reason. I can't share the sound.
So just give you a little background. That was the grassroots.
Like just take the microphone, you want it.
Yeah, campaign that we had for Brent Taylor that I threw at the VFW. And Kristin's like, yeah, they tried to kick me off, but guess what? I was like, no, I'm not having that. I was like, you can't kick me off. And then Kristin Hicks was like, yeah.
My hand of God.
And for everybody, for your background, tell everybody you were on the dance team at University of Memphis.
I was.
Cheerleader.
I was the Palm Squad, yes. So I have that little bit of that cheerleader in me, and that's what I tell people. I am the biggest. Before I felt like the Republican Party came after me, I was the biggest cheerleader, and y'all know that. Y'all worked with me in all of the outreach events. The biggest cheerleader for the party. I mean, we were out there just working our butts off, pulling people into our tents. The Bartlett Festival was the biggest and the most fun event that we ever did.
I came out there. It
was so great. And that's what I like doing. But I can't do that if you're going to take my people away from me. And that's what they've done when they took Kristin Hicks and they pushed her aside. If I don't have my team, I can't do the work. And I don't know why they wanted to break us up like that, but they did. And now they have nobody.
Kristin Hicks said Mystery Science Theater 2026 with that video.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've got the video that I think, what is his name? David Lee the second is Rebecca Ann's husband, and he sent the she did Facebook Live at the SEC
for about 17 minutes, so she got busted, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. 17 and a half minutes is how long the video is. Now, she said there was other people. There were other people recording, I think audio only though. Her husband made a post that says Scott Golden told popular radio personality Matt Murphy at 99.7 that he won't go on his show because there's going to be pending litigation. Now, I don't know if they heard that on the radio or if
it had to have been from the first round, because a lot of us haven't even heard
your situation yet.
Yeah, well, they haven't went through tomorrow, the 24th is when it becomes So what the Scott Golden has to do next, because you have to give them time to appeal, and then they'll make their final decision, and he'll say, "This is basically our certified ballot that goes to the Secretary of the State." So once after they make their decisions, they'll send the ballot. They'll, like, for instance, like Kristin, they'll make a final decision whether she should stay off the ballot or they'll put her back on the ballot.
All right. Well, I hope they put you back on the ballot. I'm gonna.
I do too.
I'm gonna. I wanted this. It took. I don't know how long it took me to find this, but this is from 2022, and this girl's name's Mariah Bailey, and I'm going to try to get her on the show at some point. But let me zoom in on this thing. She, let's see, is this the right one? Yeah. So in 2022, she was 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't have the primaries under her belt to run.
For state.
Maybe, I guess she was running for the school board. She got her petition. She pulled her petition. She got the signatures, and paid her money or whatever to do that. And then she decided, let's see if I can. Oh no! Don't do that to me. Let's see. I should have had this stuff highlighted. In 2021.
Well, yeah, they changed that. That was part of it, because if you haven't or been a eligible voter long enough to vote in primaries, they would basically take in the primaries that you could, and then you're basically like a waiver. You're okay. Well, if you are a Republican, have you been involved in something like TPS USA or any of the federated Republican clubs? Right.
So she said she was currently as a bona fide Republican for the school board. So after getting on that ballot, she saw an opportunity to possibly bring change in a more impactful way by seeking to run for the Tennessee House and the primaries. That would make me a Republican challenger to incumbent Dale Carr. So she paid $500. She got all the signatures she needed, and somehow or another, they said she couldn't run because she didn't meet the primary thing. So
somebody protested. So same with me. So somebody protested her candidacy and said that she was not qualified. So now they said you are automatically punished, and then you have to figure out a way to undo the punishment, which is so backwards.
So it says she declared Republican. I was told to pay the $500, get the signature. She did.
Mm-hmm.
Went out in the community, shared my views, my principles and values with citizens of Sevier County as a Republican. Got their support and signatures on the ballot. Paid her $500 fee. Mm-hmm. She said, let's see. I paid the $500 fee after I received the receipt that said I would have access data to a data server.
Yes.
For the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
I, of course, didn't get access. So I called the Republican Party directly and was told that they manually send access out to candidates and that it will take a few weeks. Of course, she thought it was a little weird. Well, so, however, within a few weeks, I received a letter from Mr. Scott Golden stating that my candidacy was disqualified due to a protest of her bona fide status because, again, she didn't meet the primary end of it or whatever. She went back and forth. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. She went back and forth through the whole thing, and he told her, and I guess at this time it was different. He told her to go to her local, to her SEC, have them do vouch fors. So the CEC, they all liked her. They all said that she was bona fide. They all did the vouch fors. The party chairman wrote a nice letter and everything out. What ended up happening was not only was she removed from the ballot or disqualified from running for the Tennessee House, Scott Golden also took her off the ballot for the school board. So she didn't get to do anything. She didn't get to do anything. And I like I said, I'd like to get her on. And
Yeah,
and
you
talk.
definitely need to get her on. That's an interesting one.
Of course, it was, like I said, it was in 2022 when that happened.
It's still happening.
So, and Sherry Garrett.
That's why a lot of people don't understand. The Republican Party can do whatever the hell they want to do. They don't have to listen to constituents. Like if they decide they don't want people that put creamer in their coffee to run for any of these seats, they can kick off. We don't have any say-so either.
Nope.
They can do whatever the hell they want. So why would we even give money or volunteer when you can just pick and choose candidates to do whatever you want? Like that, and I didn't understand this really.
I
didn't understand any of this till.
Yeah, why are we
why
voting
do
for
we
these people
allow
for
a party
SEC?
that just can kick off?
But why are we voting for the people for SEC if we're not really their constituents? Because once they get in, they don't have to listen to us anymore. So why go through the whole process of being publicly voted?
Mhm.
Why don't they just go ahead and just skip that part, do it like a private club since that's what they are, and just appoint their minions and move on? It's like they're basically duping people into thinking that that they have a say-so in how these people behave, but they don't. So why even bother?
Well, I mean, that's where we have to go and I guess have one of those sit down meetings and try to keep,
It's
cooler
pointless.
heads, let cooler heads prevail.
Pointless.
Well,
I think it's pointless because I don't think it would be okay to sit down and talk to, but I'm telling you, Dean, they don't care about anything you have to say. It's about basically duping you, getting you to come to their side so they can do whatever they want. We've done this. Like we went into rooms and
is that
sat
the
down
SEC
and tried
or
to
the
talk to them.
CEC?
That's
Is that the
this
SEC or
whole
the CEC?
ecosystem. This is the both sides, CEC and SEC, all blended together in one. We've tried to sit down
Well,
and
they're all
talk to
kind of
them.
the same people, right? I mean, kind of.
Yeah, it's all the same.
I mean,
people.
Randy holds a seat on the SEC and he holds a seat on the CEC. So it's
Who's that?
It's Randy Hendon.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Look
I guess
at this.
you're thinking the way we thought 5 years ago, Dean, that we should just sit down with these people and explain our situation. We're like
Right.
5 years beyond that now.
Right. Well, I mean,
look at
just a short time. Then go ahead, John. Justin.
Yeah. So look, going back to the reason they removed Kristin from the ballot is because they said she was critical. Well, look, our favorite state senator, Brent Taylor, his MO is he's critical of everybody. He just made a very public post attacking John Rose, the governor candidate, an elected Republican congressman. Like, he went after him. Do you see them kicking Brent Taylor off the ballot for being critical of other Republicans? No. So why should you kick Kristin off of being challenging
Critical.
of other Republicans? Why do we have one standard for one group of people? Basically, the peasants. That's what we all are. We're all peasants, and we're not allowed to have a voice. These are all kings, and we have to fall underneath them.
No kings.
And
no
we're not
kings.
allowed to voice grievances or anything
We
else.
need our own No Kings rally.
I wish I had a no king. I wish I had a no king sign.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
is real. I will say the frustration is real.
I know, and tensions are high, and when you've got certain people, I'm not saying everybody in the CEC, and I'm not saying everybody in the SEC, because I mean, that there's people I've had no issues with, so I can't. It's not my experience, but it is y'all's experience, and that's why I wanted to bring. That's why I wanted to bring, and Justin brings a lot of good stuff to it. But I mean, that's why I wanted to bring you on, Kristin, and talk about your side and because like I said, people think that I know everything that's going on
What I haven't
in the
seen,
Shelby County.
I haven't seen anybody in my CEC, unless they've done it and they just haven't told me, but I don't see why that they wouldn't tell me. I haven't seen any of them send an email or call Scott Golden and tell him Kristin New needs to be put on the ballot. I haven't. Like, I'm in an island, and actually when I pulled my petition, I didn't get a phone call from anybody on the CEC or a text or an email saying congratulations for putting yourself out there and running for a position in the Republican Party.
Did they do that for anybody else?
Yeah,
Well,
they did a press conference for
for John DeBerry. Yes.
I mean, my God. But I didn't even get anything. And then it's like they all of a sudden went to opposition mode on me. It's like when they found out I pulled, they just went, oh crap. And it's instead of calling and say, hey, this will be fun. We'll have a contested race and we can bring more people into the primaries. We're not going to to pick one over the other. We're not going to say we're for Peggy or for you, because that would be improper. But good on y'all. Let's battle it out. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
You know what happened to me when I pulled my petition, and the next day I got all my signatures and I turned it in. The ink hadn't even dried on my petition. I went to a Republican event that night, and the first thing, one of the establishment leaders of the Republican Party, and she holds another pretty high position in the county, she came up to me and said, why did you even pull a petition? You know we're just going to kick you off. And I said, I know. That's why I pulled a petition, so you would kick me off. And I could show how corrupt y'all all are. And this has fell in line just how I hope it would happen. They kicked me off, and then somebody else got motivated and they ran for office, which was Kristin, which is the perfect candidate. She has no blemishes at all in her. And to show that they kicked Kristin off shows there is no fairness. They don't follow their own bylaws. They're picking winners and losers for their races. And the only time they use this removal process is when they want to weaponize it and select the candidates that they want to be in office.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they just leave it alone and give me a waiver, or if I had a problem with my thing, give me a waiver. You're good. But they're like, oh crap, you're running against Peggy. You can't do that. Why not?
The only reason they want Peggy in there is because Peggy, I've never heard anything from Peggy. I didn't even know Peggy existed. She will say yes to whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all know more about it than I do. So, I mean, y'all are privy to it.
So,
I mean, because y'all been doing it a little bit longer than I have. So, I mean,
so what I think that we have figured out is that there's a couple leaders within the party. They control everything. They strong arm everybody to get in line, and everybody else is just like, it's like, I put it this way, Dean. Do you remember as a kid and you're going to school and there's always that one bully that pushes everybody around? That's what the Shelby GOP and the SEC is. There's a couple bullies that are there. They make sure everybody else falls into line, and everybody else is just yes people. There's no leaders. There's not a bunch of leaders within the organization like pushing this how it should go. And it's evident because we get blown out every single election. And you have to think, this is all by design. It's by design. They don't want to win elections.
I mean, it's been, 40 years since we've had Republican representation in Shelby County and Memphis. I mean, good.
So the last Republican mayor you're going to have for Memphis was going to be Dick Hackett when Harrington won. So that would have been like 20 years ago. But the county was red. They lost in 2018. Yeah, was when the county got swept and became red. We used to have a Republican district attorney, a Republican county mayor. Wasn't that long ago that we had the majority of county commissioners. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and Worth Morgan lost.
Right. Well, I mean, I've been in and around Memphis and Shelby County. So, I mean, me and my first wife moved to Olive Branch whenever they were talking about bringing that unincorporated Shelby County into Memphis. And I was like, there's no way I'm putting my son in Memphis City schools.
No.
And that was that was at the time that Willie Harrington,
Mm-hmm.
you know, everybody talks about that. Some people talk about how great he was. He might be a very nice man, and I met him a couple of times. He is a nice man, but he destroyed the schools first, and then he
Nice
came
people
in.
don't do that.
Huh?
People got to quit doing that. They got to quit saying, "Oh, you're nice," but nice people destroy their own communities.
Right. Well, I know.
He
I know.
had the nickname Slick Willie for a reason.
Right. Well, like I said, you know, he destroyed the schools first, and then came in and destroyed the county.
Yeah, he did.
And
he
it's
pocketed all
not
that money.
and it's not rebounded at all.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, there's things I know about.
Because they put their control mechanisms in place.
Right.
And that's what we're dealing with. The control mechanisms. So,
Well,
Uniparty.
oh, we were so getting like defederated and
Uniparty. I don't care. You know why? You know why I say this? As soon as you stop saying what you don't want to say, you just become their slave. Like, I'm not going to be a slave to anybody. Like you'll never be the most. And Tucker Carlson says this a lot, and I like it. The most liberating thing you can do is tell the truth. When you stop expressing your God-given rights and expressing what's on your mind and your thoughts and everything else, you just become a slave to somebody. Like who wants to live that life like that? And I mean, they've done it. They've smeared me. Okay. But I live, my life is an open book. I live to be truthful, like with everything in my life. Like there is nothing that is hitting. If there's something bad out there, like I'll be the first one to repent from it and turn around. But who wants to live a secret life? And that's how really they control a lot of these people, is because they have secret lives. And once you start knowing things about it and you're not open with, then they use it against you and they get you to do what you want. So the best thing you can do if you ever want to get into the political arena is just to be open about everything. Don't hide anything. And that's why they don't want Kristin there, because Kristin's honest. There's nothing hidden about Kristin. Like there's nothing there that they can like trick her and hold her to and use her to get what they want. So please, if that's the only message that comes across tonight.
Lies are hard. The truth is easy.
Yeah, you got to keep up with the lie.
You got to keep up with the lies. I don't have to keep up with the truth. It just is. Yeah.
What were you saying, Justin? If
that's the only thing I have to come across tonight is, like, don't let these people try to like smear you or like trick you up. Like the best thing you can do, and this is like me being a part of a Christian. When I became a Christian, like I realized that the secret places in my life that I was like the sin that I didn't want to deal with, you know, I was always, you know, confessing everything in my life, like go to small group and be like, oh, I did this or that. And that was the most liberating feeling for me when I became a Christian, was to just admit everything, like to not live a like double life or like anything in the secret, because it's freeing to, you know, get things off of your chest. And you know what? People respect people like that are open and honest. Like
that's because they're far and few between.
Yeah.
It's not the norm.
Well, and I know people like us, they're like, you're always smearing something. I'm actually not. I am telling you my experience. And my experience is that I was treated like this. That's not smearing that person. That's just telling you how I was treated. So, you know, and then my message always is, sometimes you have the right thing to do, and sometimes you have the political thing to do. And sometimes they're the same thing, but not always. And where they're not the same thing, you have to always choose the right thing. But that's not what happens. It seems like some of these people always choose the political thing, and that's when they start getting into trouble.
Right. Right. Well, we're coming up on the end. There's a couple of, let's see, Sherry Garrett posted, people have been, I'll just post it up on the thing. People have been so uneducated on what the SEC does now and how important it is. They either skip it on the ballot because they don't understand, or they just pick one. I'm guilty of that. Before I started coming to these meetings, and I voted. I mean, I probably couldn't run for the SEC now, but the state executive committee now. But I mean, I've been active. I mean, I don't pay the $100 due things or whatever. I mean, just like I'm not going to pay $300 for a ticket for dinner. And I don't know what I will tell you this. Look, the other night, one of the last things that Tim said to us is, well, y'all enjoy your dinner. It's probably going to be some dried chicken.
That's what it always is on these things. Dried chicken.
Dried chicken. And it was, but I had such a good time. And I'm going to brag. I said it, I think one of the best tables there that night.
Dean said it with me at our fun table.
I had Kristin on one side, my wife on the other side, Cody and Allie on the other side. And I'm trying to think of the other couple's names.
I actually don't know. I hadn't met them before. I knew Cody from Facebook and all of that.
Right. Yeah.
But back to Sherry, what she's talking about. That's why we want to educate people too. This is not only just like kind of an exposure thing, but it's also an education thing. People need to have educated consent to be governed. And if you don't know what's going on, you cannot give consent. So if people know what's going on, then maybe they go, I don't like that. Or maybe they do like it, but at least they would have a choice and they can make up their minds. But governing people in small closed off rooms is not the way our forefathers wanted it. It's not. Yeah. So when they say things, and this is actually something I had a problem with in our CEC, you can't live stream. I was live streaming every meeting because I thought, why won't we let people know? And they had some excuses about the Democrats may watch the live streams. I said, it's an open public meeting. They could all if they want. They
could walk in and sit down as a guest.
Yeah, and you know that the meeting I said that Edmund Ford was sitting right there. I was like, there's one right there.
Yeah, he's a Dino though. He's a Dino. I like Edmund.
But it just made my point, and but they don't like that. They don't like that because they may be scrutinized or something. But they should be scrutinized. And I'm okay for people to scrutinize me, to say, I don't like what you said. And I said, oh, okay, well, tell me why.
So before we jump off, because we're coming close to the end and I had to jump off, I'll throw this out there. And I don't normally do this. But if they put Kristin back on the ballot, I will call a truce. I will call a truce, and I will stop being so critical against them. And all my efforts will be devoted towards getting Kristin New elected and getting people to the polls in August. If they put her back on the ballot, you have it from me. If all establishment people are listening, there's a truce. There's a truce from me. I will back off. I will not come after y'all and keep calling y'all rhinos and saying I'm not going to vote for such and such people. Just put Kristin on the ballot. That's all I want. Just put Kristin on the ballot.
So Justin just wants them to put Kristin back on the ballot and let the people decide.
Yeah, because then we'll go into campaign mode after that.
What does that hurt? What does that hurt?
Well, I just want to. For me, is because I feel like I got a bad deal from the SEC of the removal and everything else like that. Like I want a choice to have a representative that's gonna, be a voice for the constituents that is there. Like I'm not happy with I'm not happy with Peggy Larkin, or I'm not happy with Randy Hendon being my SEC people.
Well, I'm gonna leak something here.
Randy Hendon is going to be your SEC person because they kicked Thomas Gandy off, and he will not be getting back on because he doesn't meet the SEC requirements of 3 out of 3.
Right, and that was the other thing that people don't understand. To be on the SEC, the state executive committee, you had to be 3 for 3, not 3 for 4.
Well, you had to be 3 consecutive. You had to be 3 consecutive.
3 consecutive,
not just 3 out of 4.
You're right. 3 consecutive. Now I'm going to leak something here. I guess it's okay to leak. Me and Lisa were talking the other day, Lisa Arnold, and we've all talked about this. Talked about how people in the municipals, the munis, don't realize that they can vote in the Shelby County elections. Hello, you're in Shelby County. You can vote in Shelby County elections. So she said something and I got to thinking about something. I thought, you know what? We need to do a skit. So I don't know if anybody's going to ride around with me and Lisa, but we're going to do, it's going to get edited and everything else like that. But we're going to drive around to each municipal city to their sign and video us right there at the sign and say, like, where are we at? This is Bartlett. Is that Shelby County? Yes. Can people vote in the Shelby County elections in Bartlett? Yes, they can. They're in Shelby County. And do each one of those things like that, and even go to the unincorporated parts of Shelby County, because she was talking to one of her friends who lives in Cordova, and she said, well, I put up some of those signs. She said, but I'm not in Shelby County. And Lisa asked her, did you move? She said, no, I'm in Cordova. You're in Shelby County, lady.
Yeah, when we were working the headquarters, we would do, Dean, you probably remember them because you were standing there when we would do those informational videos.
Right.
Yeah. So, and we actually suggested that back when Worth, and it's just one of those things where if somebody doesn't just take a hold of that project and get it done themselves, it just kind of goes. But the video content on Facebook and social media gets way more likes. I mean, the live streams go viral. The live streams that we would do from our festivals would just blow up. So if, those video content, that's what the party needs to be doing to get out this vote.
Right.
We should be doing it every day, doing some kind of video saying you've got X amount of days left before your butt's going to be at that poll voting.
Right.
What are you doing to research your candidates? Here they are. That kind of stuff. Information is key. And if anybody tells you to be silent or to not talk, or they don't want you to give information, then you need to ask why, because everybody needs, the more information, the better. More information, the better.
Well, we got the approval to do it. I mean, Luke thought it was an excellent idea, and he's gonna help out with some things and this, that, and the other. But that's, I think one Saturday we're gonna drive all over Shelby County, go to every sign, and say.
And keep plugging those dates.
Pardon?
Keep plugging those dates. I look at their Facebook page and I don't see anybody saying anything about August.
Right. That's
May's coming up first.
May. You've got April, early voting in April. I think April 15th or something like that.
Yeah,
early voting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the May primaries. Then you got the August general and primary for November.
Correct.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a Saturday, I think, and drive, put 150, 200 miles on a vehicle, going to every municipal place and doing a video or whatever. And hopefully they'll spread it out over social media or whatever. And people can, maybe he can even take it to a TV station or whatever, when he goes to a TV station and do a little excerpt, get people talking about it.
Reminded me, we needed the passwords to do all that to the social media account, and they wouldn't give them to us forever and ever and ever. And I think we had to sleuth them somehow. I forgot how Kristin Hicks will know how we even got the passwords. I remember I was like, why won't y'all just give me the password to the freaking social media account so I can live broadcast from the headquarters?
Would Bernice not give it up to you?
No, Bernice would not. I'm like, you're not even in the party anymore.
you don't even have to have, like, when somebody makes a page like that, and you have different admins that are on it, like because whoever creates it, you can't change it. Like, somebody always is going to own that page.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is, like, just put their email in there, and it sends them a link, and then they just are able to have access and join it.
We figured it out, but.
Right. Well, Justin, tell everybody where you're at on social media.
Yeah. So for right now on Facebook, I'm at Collierville Republican. I do have an X account. I started one again where I had erased it. But any political stuff, I put it on Collierville Republican. I don't add anybody to my private Facebook page unless I'm actually real friends with you in real life. So If you go try to add me on that, and unless I know you in person, I'm not going to add you. So anything political, I put on Collierville Republican Justin Johnson.
Same thing for X. What's your X account?
It's on there. I think it's like J Johnson 1983. I'm not really.
It's Triple J. Is it Triple J?
Yeah, Triple J. He
Triple
don't
J.
even know.
No,
We
so
all know what it is.
I erased it, my old one. So it's now JJOH 1983.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, Justin, you have a good evening. Thanks for coming on and explaining some things. I mean, I learn every time I come on here from people, and so that's really what it's all about. And the SEC and CEC and other people, I'm sure there's some exceptions. Justin will quit ragging on you if you'll and just put her back on. Put Kristin back on the ballot. He'll quit ragging on you. Like they really care.
That's too much to ask. Let us have an election. Let the voters decide.
I might not even win. Like Peggy might beat me. I don't even know. But let's just at least let the process play out.
Right. All right, Justin. You have a good evening, bud.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Take care. All right, Kristin.
Do you want my socials?
Give us your socials
right.
and when do you think you're supposed? Is it the next 48 hours? Is that what somebody was saying?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So,
some people I think already found out because I did get a text from Cade.
Oh, Cade Cawthorn? Was
yes,
it Cade?
He got a unanimous no.
Oh, okay.
So he is off. Yeah. He's the one that wrote like the book of why he should be on. And see, that's what I said. That's not going to do you any good. I mean, you might as well keep it short and sweet.
Oh, is he the one that did like a whole biography, 14-page, whatever?
Yeah. And they said, no. See, I'm like, why? I'm not doing all that homework.
Well, yeah, I mean, that might be, that's not even okay for a job resume. I mean,
it was beautifully written. I will say he's a great writer.
But I mean,
so mine is Kristin New and spelled KRISTINNEW for Germantown is my public page, and then my X, which I use Facebook way more than X, but my X is K New, so like kind of like new, like KNEW G Town. G
Town. You didn't get in trouble for the G Town thing because old Germantowners hate that word.
Really?
Hate that phrase. G-Town?
Oh, yeah. Here. So Collierville has always been the Ville.
The Ville.
Germantown.
Ville.
Yeah, we were the Ville, and then we go to G-Town.
Okay. All right.
And we were the rivals, so the Ville versus G-Town.
Right. All right. Well, Kristin, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I know we kind of hashed over a little bit of the same thing from last night, and but we brought some more. We brought more into it, kind of with you explaining the videos and everything else like that. So
no new information until tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
All right. Well, you have a good evening.
All right.
And thank you for coming on.
All right. Thanks, Dean. Talk to you later.
All right. Take care. So, what do y'all think? I mean, Justin said he'll quit messing with everybody if they just put Kristin back just put her on the ballot. Just put her on the ballot. Of course, it comes down to Scott Golden, whether she goes back on the ballot or not. So that's what we'll have to wait on. And maybe she'll find out something tomorrow. Maybe she won't. And maybe it'll be Wednesday before she finds something out. But a 14-page explanation as to why you should be on the ballot. I mean, resumes are barely a page anymore. They don't want any more. It's like a TikTok or a short reel or something instead of a long video like the podcast has been tonight. So we'll find out. I hope everybody watched the president today. That was awesome. Being down at the reception down at the corner today was pretty cool too. And arguing with somebody, well, y'all know I like arguing, so that was pretty fun. She hates Senator Taylor. She hates. Okay, Kristin said it was about 7 or 8 pages, but still, it should be a single page. That girl hates. I hope Senator Taylor saw my memes today, or not really memes, but the things that I put together. I'm not saying who sent me those pictures, but I volunteered to put them on Facebook because I like doing stuff like that. That's just what I like doing. I got a day job tomorrow, folks. Y'all have a good evening. Appreciate y'all being here. Y'all take care, sleep well, stay safe. Have a good evening.